Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you. Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here, and today I'm at the Brickmania Miramar store just outside of San Diego, California, and I'm joined by Joa, and he is going to be taking us through the giant Brickmania Makin Island ship. Now, we have shown this a couple times in the past with Dan. He's kind of given us progress videos over the years, but now it's pretty much close to 100% complete here on display in the store, right?
Yes, sir. It is. The only thing that needs to be done is tiled off. Maybe 30% of it needs to be tiled up. Other than that, it's good to go. It's all prepped. It's ready to go.
And this is amazing. For people who haven't seen our past videos on this, can you give us a few stats in terms of like size and length of this thing?
From what I know, it's about 26 feet long, about 4 feet wide, about 6 feet tall at the top of the radar, a little bit taller. It's got a full squad of Ospreys, a full squad of CH-53s, Vipers, Venoms, Humvees, you name it, F-35s that are either on the Makin Island or have been on the Makin Island. Currently on board. We have a full flight deck crew. We have Marines, we got pilots, we got naval officers, we got it all. We even got a Marine quad fighter X-Wing buzzing the tower.
I love that. So let's start kind of at this end and make our way through. If you can maybe point out some of what we have on display here and kind of how that ties in with Brickmania's products.
Sure, so all of the airframe that you see on all the helicopters, the jets, everything, even the minifigures, they're all products that we currently or have carried in the past. So right now you're seeing the CH-53 Super Stallion. It's no longer a kit that we carry, but it is something that currently operates off of the USS Makin Island and operates across the street. So you can see them taking off and landing all day long if you come out here. Then right next to them we have Vipers and Venoms. They aren't being currently used on the Makin Island, but they have been, and they're Marine airframe. Right next to those we have a full squad of 12 Ospreys, well 11 on the ship currently. We have our 12th one off to the side. But those are the main troop transports for the Marines on and off of the Makin Island. So we got a full squadron of 12 of those. And then if you move down to the back, we have a Seahawk, F-35s. We even have a custom kind of trainer F-35 that somebody brought in that we thought was cool. So that's on the Makin Island. And yeah, it's pretty much loaded to the teeth and it's armed to go. And there's tons of little fun secrets here. Like we have Mandalorian dropping off Han Solo and Carbonite into an Osprey, and we got sailors getting seasick and falling off, and there's Evel Knievel jumping a bike on there. Like there's a lot of fun stuff on here that we've just probably had too much time to have fun with.
As you're in the store, do you just kind of think up ideas and mess around with stuff?
Oh yeah, and me, I need constant change. So I'll see something and be like, this would be a whole lot funnier if I did something else. And luckily, all the vets that we have, all the kids that we have, all the people that are currently on the Makin Island, they love it. I mean, it's cool to see it one-to-one scale exactly as it is, but it's also, they just think it's fun to see some nonsense happening on it. Like we have a full squad of Humvees and other tactical vehicles like shooting off in the distance. No reason, it's just fun.
That's a really cool feature of this. Because of your location, you get people who work on a lot of the real life kind of variations of these vehicles and things. And so they get to come in and see the Lego versions that, you know, the very talented Brickmania team has put together.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. We get pilots, operators, engineers. We got people that just fix the airframes, and they all come in and they all say the same thing. They all go, how did you know that was on there? Nobody knows that that's on there, and I barely even know that's on there. So it's cool to see them get blown away, and we take feedback pretty well here too, where there'll be, like a customer will come in or a vet will come in and they'll be like, that actually shouldn't be there, it should be here, or there should be a light right there, and we'll change it for them just because they know better. I'm not a vet. They obviously know the aircrafts better than I do, so we like to take customer feedback into it too.
What are some of the details around kind of the edges here and some of these little builds that we see? What do those represent?
Sure. So around the waterline of the ship are the plank owners. So anyone that's contributed to the actual building of the ship, not physically contributing, but contributing money to the actual production of the ship. We immortalize them on the waterline, and we also made camouflaged minifigures, naval officers for each person that donated. And then we like to surround the ship with pictures of the actual Makin Island, that some we got ourselves and some were provided to us from the United States Navy, just so people can actually see how accurate the thing is, because we've gotten help from everybody.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat. And then we have a couple of our designers will make one-off things, like our designer George, he's made a white crane to put on the Makin Island too. That's just a custom kit that he's done, and same with this naval boat on the waterline. So it's, you know, we like to
have fun with it.
Cool, yeah.
And as we move above the water line, what are some of these kind of little build-out details along the edge there?
Yeah, so a lot of them are either radar or fueling, depending on where it is. The purple shirts, I believe, are refuelers, so they're at the fuel lines.
So that's really cool, but it's in those little details, though, that make the whole build kind of come to life.
Yeah.
Even with its size here, you want to see those little details and it really draws you in.
Yeah, it's cool to have a big piece of Lego, but to have a big piece of Lego that's got all the little minute aspects of the actual ship, it's really cool to see.
And then the tiling work is another great detail. So I know you said there's a little bit left, but there's still a ton of it done here.
Yes.
And you've got kind of, do you know what some of those different lines represent there and kind of how that's laid out?
Yeah, so all the white lines indicate takeoff zones. So that's where all of the airframe will take off from. The only one out of spot is the top CH-53. We just moved it forward just so we can have this Osprey being towed out. But the numbers indicate what spots are the ready spots. The yellow is a caution line, just telling you to keep away from that. Same with the red and yellow striped line. That's aircraft landing and takeoff zone, so get out of there, don't be in the way. Then the dark gray tiling, opposed to the light gray, is because it's non-skid paint. Funny enough, we've had a couple of engineers come in here that painted the actual Makin Island, and the non-skid that they put on previously melted underneath the F-35 engines.
Oh my.
So they've had to redo it several times. So that's why you might be wondering, why is it light gray and dark gray? Dark gray is non-skid. It's so it doesn't melt. It's so things can get wet and they can still land and not skid off.
Yeah, no, that
Pretty
makes
cool.
sense. And as we move to this very detailed section in the middle here, I think you said it's about 6 feet tall at the highest point.
Yeah.
And what does some of this area and kind of antennas and everything represent here?
Pretty much everything up the top is going to be radar. There is the control deck right up top, right below this Sea Whiz, and everything else is pretty much just radar. We have the cast of Top Gun playing volleyball up on top of the 8 right there, because we got to pay homage to Top Gun. It's right across the street. We got to have it. And other than that, we just have, all your naval and marine officers just hanging out, playing cards. There's people playing tennis over there, people sunbathing on top of the entrance, and again, just have fun with it.
This
with
is
the actual Makin Island, it's just radar up top.
Yeah, another one of those kind of really detailed oriented sections, almost feeling like a space Griebeline type of idea here.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And it's going to look really nice when it's all tiled off, because it's going to be slick and you're going to see every little detail in there.
Now, with a build of this size, obviously you had to get it out here to display at the store.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about kind of that process and then how this thing is moved around.
Oh yeah, so this thing is actually built into 6 subsections. The forward half of this 8 is entirely solid. It's all Lego.
Wow.
Whereas the back of the 8 is a hollow well deck, because the actual ship, it'll sink and rise to let the LCAC hovercrafts out of the back. So when it was bust out here in a Mercedes van in 6 pieces on baking racks, and it took 6 of us, including Dan, to actually physically move all the pieces and put them in place. And it's not, we can't carry them, they're heavy. It takes, I say carry, but it takes 6 of us just to pick it up and drop it an inch off of the thing. I think it weighs probably around a car, maybe 2 cars.
Wow.
It's insane. And then we had to, obviously it gets broken in transit, so we had to put it all together, relay down the flight deck. We had to put all the minifigs. We had to rebuild all the airframe. And it was kind of just a puzzle piece at that point, but it's turned out really well, and it's a project that we're not quite done with,
Yeah, and it takes up just an enormous part of the store here, which is amazing
yeah.
as well. But I love that you've kind of left the space in the store in order to dedicate it to a large custom model like this.
Oh yeah, well originally it was going to go in the back so you can see it with the mosaic of Iwo Jima, but then why put your coolest thing in the back of the store? So we had to rearrange the store, and I think it works really well. It's a nice flow coming right out of the door. You get to see this massive Lego creation, and it's cool to see when it's almost, people get shocked that they don't even see anything else we have in here when we first come in the door. They're just like, whoa, what is this? And they start asking questions, and then we get 10 minutes into the visit, and then they start looking at what we have available for sale. So it's really cool having it be right at the front door. It's cool having them just right there when you walk in.
And you mentioned the section in the back that kind of opens up here, so I think
Yes,
you
sir.
can actually see that. And then you've got another smaller vessel here. So what does that represent?
So this is an LCAC. It's a naval hovercraft. It's made to come out. The USS Makin Island has 2 of them, and they're made to transport some of the larger vehicles to land. So you'll see Abrams tanks, Humvees, LT-ATVs. So the entire ship will actually submerge just a little bit because these are hovercrafts that are on the water. So it'll submerge a little bit. These will come out of the back of the Makin Island, and then they'll go wherever they need to be. They'll come back, stow themselves back in, and then the Makin Island will rise again. They're really cool, honestly. And the well deck inside is fully hollow. It technically has lights. They're not very bright, so you won't be able to see them. But it's totally lit up. It's totally tiled off in there too, and it's cool. It's really cool. And especially, we've had a lot of people that work on LCACs, and I think they're called flight captains. I can't remember what they're called, but the people that actually drive the LCACs, they love these because these were a kit too, but they were so like sparsely made. We only had, I think, one the entire time, and it was around $3,000, and it was very cool. But the people that actually work on these, they love these things. They can't talk about them enough because it's cool. It's a real hovercraft. I mean, you know?
No, and then the fact that it actually incorporates into the larger ship is really neat as well.
Well, that's what I like about this in general, because it's a really cool to-scale model of the USS Makin Island, but it's also, we make all these kits. These are all ideas that we've put out there. Like, it's so neat to me that we can incorporate something that we've done that you can buy or you can build, and you can build your own custom thing, and it would make perfect sense on the Makin Island. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. Do you have any idea the total piece count on the whole thing?
Oh, good Lord, no. Absolutely not. I tell people over $1 million. It could be 10 million. I don't even know.
It's still over $1 million, you know.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, people just see it, and you have to assume that it's millions of Legos. I mean, because Lego doesn't make very big pieces, and you have a huge model. So I just tell people over $1 million.
Yeah.
And then they usually go, wow, and then walk away.
So were there any other like minifigure scenes you wanted to point out, anything that we didn't touch on earlier?
I'm going to say, if anyone wants to come see it, they can come and do a little scavenger hunt and try to find them themselves.
There you go. And they probably change as well.
Oh, they will change every so often. Please come in and, try to point out all the little details. I will say that there's a clown performing balloon animals to a couple of Marines on here. So if you can find that, that's my favorite one.
Yes. I love it. Well, thank you so much for the tour, and I'm glad we were able to come back for kind of an update on this after seeing the progress that Dan had made over the years. It looks just incredible here, and it's a really cool location. So everyone watching, make sure you stop by the store here in the Miramar area, and then if people want to follow you online and see what the store's up to, what's the best place to do that?
We post daily updates on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Brickmania Miramar, literally just Brickmania_Miramar. You can also follow the regular Brickmania Toys page. They always repost our things and our events, anything that we do, so that's really cool. You can Google us on the website. We have our retail location. Literally anywhere, just search up Brickmania Miramar and we'll be there.
Perfect.
We have a YouTube, a TikTok, literally everything.
Awesome.
So we're covered to the teeth.
There we go. I love to hear it. Well, thank you so much for the tour of the ship today.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for dropping by.